Sure. Love you.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Brad and Mira for the Culture. I'm Brad Listi, here with Mira Gonzalez.
That's me.
Don't forget to subscribe to this show wherever you listen. You can also subscribe on YouTube, and you can follow us on social media, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, and for Mira, Twitter.
But not for Brad.
But not for me.
Our podcast doesn't get a Twitter account because Brad has to shield his delicate emotions, which I understand.
I'm fragile.
And he's a fragile man. He's in touch with his feelings, and that's a good thing. That's
largely
important.
so. Largely so.
Largely so, you know. I mean, it really depends. You know, sometimes Brad will call me and he's crying, and I'm like, Brad, why are you crying? You're sobbing again. And he's like, well, I just saw this movie and there was this couple and they broke up, and then he's crying for days. And then I'm like, you need a psychiatrist. And he's like, no, I don't. And it's, you know, a never ending cycle. I tell him, stop watching The Notebook, Brad, but he never stops.
Ryan Gosling does have a lot of charisma.
That's true. He's got the Riz. He really does.
He really does.
He really does. And that, I mean, you know, I say this Brad does not actually do this. If anybody were to do this, it would be me. I have seen The Notebook maybe 3 times and cried every time. I'm just a fucking sucker, man. I am like, I will cry at literally anything. I don't know what happened. I turned 30 and it was just like, the tears just came. They just naturally arrived.
The accumulated sadness of your life.
Exactly.
Finally just reached a breaking point.
Came through my face. I mean, I've always been a crier, but not always at movies. That's more recent development.
No, that happened to me. I mean, I get more emotionally sensitive when it comes to movies than I used to be. Like, I used to be able to watch anything, no problem. And then I got to a point in life where like I couldn't watch like dark, scary things at night. Like, it's not good for my sleep.
I mean, I love dark and scary if it's like, you know, if it's like psychologically damaging and like, you know, like a Hereditary, like, you know, the movie Hereditary or something like that. Like, I love that. Like, cause then it's like, it's not about real life, you know, it's about like some insane thing that happened to somebody in this movie, and it's a thriller and it's psychologically frightening. But if it's like 2 old people are in love and one of them dies, or even not, if there's 2 like old gay people in love, I will cry for the whole movie. Even if it's a happy movie, I will cry for the whole movie because I just like, I'm like, oh my God, like, and then like there are like not that many older gay men left in the world. It is so beautiful. Like, I like cannot take it.
Yeah, that's nice though. That's nice that you have a place to put your emotions.
Yeah. I mean, that's, you know, I have therapy for that too, I guess, but
right.
You know, I still don't have a place for most of my emotions, so that's why I podcast.
This is where you do it too. This is where you put your emotions.
That's right. This is where I put my emotions. This is why I'm always crying in the podcast. You know, like I'm sorry to the fans for all of the sobbing that I do during this podcast, but
crying on the inside.
You know, crying on the inside. Exactly. When we stop recording, it's an all day tear fest, pretty much. You know, I'm like, I miss Brad. I miss the podcast. I love the fans so much. I'm so lucky to have this Yeti microphone. This is so beautiful.
It is a privileged station to be at, I'll tell you.
It is this station of my bed with a Yeti microphone on my fucked up ass table that has like, I'm looking at it right now. There's like face powder, my inhaler, a big bottle of pills. I have like hair ties, like literally I have hair ties wrapped around my weed grinder. Like it's a fucking disaster.
You've got a weed grinder, I guess, for joints. Is that what it's for?
Have you never owned a weed grinder? That's like the most basic weed item.
I'm old. We ground our own weed by hand.
I mean, I still sometimes will do that just because like it actually, I think is like, it takes a lot of time, but it's better because it's like you can grind it so it's not so thin and they're so fine and like it won't like come through the filter. Like that's kind of, it's not bad, honestly. It's not a bad way to do it. It just takes like forever and it's really annoying.
I didn't even know there was. I mean, I guess I knew there were weed grinders, but like in my day, we did not weed grind. We just broke it up by hand.
Wow. Did you also like buy weed by the finger? That's what my stepdad said he used to do. It would be like you get like 2 fingers of weed, and that's like a 2 finger size in like a paper bag. Like it was not sold by like ounces or anything like that.
I want to say when I lived in Australia years and years ago, that's how they sold it, but I could be wrong.
You
That
lived in
rings a bell.
Australia? What the fuck?
I studied abroad.
I say study abroad.
Yeah,
Classic.
so I was there for like 6 months, but
And you chose Australia.
I did. It was good. It was fun. It was a
Fucked
great
up
time.
animals there.
So many. It's beautiful, and like the birds. There's like parrots in the trees,
And the bugs are like 10 feet long. I'm never going to Australia. There's so many
Snakes.
fucked up animals. Kangaroos are so fucking scary. They're so fucking scary. They're like so buff and so angry, and they also jump, and like they have this like, I don't even want to talk about their sacks full of babies on their stomach. I mean, that's fucking terrifying. I am not down.
So when I went to Australia, one of the first things we did, like we flew to Sydney and we stayed in Sydney for a couple nights, and then we broke up into small groups and we all went to what was called a farm stay. So like we got to stay on like an authentic Australian
Oh, you
farm.
like worked on the farm?
Yeah, like farm in the outback, basically. You got like an experience of like the authentic
Whoa.
Australian outback. And so we get there, and I mean, I'm just like at peak moron. I'm 19 years old. I'm a stoner. I think I know everything. You know what I'm saying? Like just like
Yeah.
the peak of like youthful glory and
I met you
idiocy.
at that age, so I remember.
Yeah, you were that age when I
Yeah.
met you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So thought I knew everything, and we get to this farm, and so these like really like salt of the earth Australian farmers, very nice, like welcoming us into their home. It's kind of a side hustle, I think, for them. They were getting paid to host us, but
Yeah.
they put us on horses, and they're like, "Come on, we're gonna go off for a horse ride." I'd never been on a horse in my life at that
Oh
point.
my God.
So I get on this horse, and we are like trotting through the Australian outback, like beautiful landscape. And all of a sudden the like farmer's like, "Oh, here we go. Like, look at this," or whatever. And I look over to my right, and there's just like, I don't even know what you call it, a herd of kangaroos. There might be a better word for it, but like just leaping past us, like dozens of them, you know.
My actual worst nightmare. Like my worst nightmare.
It was actually kind of transcendently beautiful, and like
Until one of them attacks the horse, and then you're fucked. Then you die.
they have those big claws too.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like kangaroos give people much trouble. Like it's very rare for a kangaroo to mess with a human being. I think you sort of
Not
have to.
according to videos that I've seen online.
Well, there's that one where the kangaroo like knocks on the glass door or
Oh
whatever.
my God. And it's like so buff. It's like knocking on like a big glass window, and it's like chest bumping the glass window.
Yes,
It's like
yes.
so fucking scary.
It looks like something out of a horror movie. I'll give you that.
Truly. It
Yeah.
looks like something out of a horror movie. Or like there's one where like a kangaroo just like fucking like boxing style just like gets its arms up, and like a guy's like, all right, I guess I'm fucking boxing a kangaroo now. Like holy shit. Like
But that's what they do. They box.
it's
They like,
fucked up.
yeah, they punch you.
I don't like an animal that like looks a little bit too human. It freaks me out. Like that does kind of like a monkey, the wrong kind of monkey. I'm not down. Like I don't like it. It freaks
I'm the same way.
at me.
I'm not as freaked out by kangaroos, but I'm super freaked out by like chimpanzees and
Yeah, dude, people are not scared enough of those animals. They'll rip your face right the fuck off. Like they are strong as hell, and they are pissed.
that's right.
Like,
If they get pissed, you're in deep shit.
deep shit. And like they'll get pissed like for I don't know, weird ass reasons. I don't know why monkeys get pissed. That's none of my business. My feeling about the animal kingdom is like I respect you and your space. I'm not going to get involved in wherever a monkey lives. I don't want to be near that shit. I'm not down, and they can stay out of where I live, and we can have a mutual respect for each other's space, and that's fine.
What about Jane Goodall, though? She seems to get along with all of them. Like
She's the exception to the rule, I would say. And also she like didn't interact with them. She specifically like stood very still in one spot and observed them until like they came to her. And like that was like, I mean, that's terrifying. I would never do that in a million years, but it makes a lot more sense to me than like actively trying to interact with them.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Like, let them have their space.
Yeah, exactly. Let them have their space. Like, that's where they live. I'm not trying to enter their home. I don't want them to enter my home, you know.
So, speaking of dangerous animals needing to have their own space, the Eras tour has ended.
That was an interesting transition. I was wondering like where you were going with that, what was going to happen, and yeah, it was that was interesting. Okay, fair. Who's the caged animal in this scenario? Me?
I don't know. Maybe me having to witness the Eras tour. Like,
You never had to witness it. You never went to the Eras tour. No one forced you to go there and see it for 3 hours. You never even watched a grainy live stream. Calm down.
my little sister was in Vancouver this weekend for one of those shows for the
For the
final,
final?
the final stand of the Eras tour.
Wow. So those who are in the know will notice that I have worn my Taylor Swift gear in honor, or what do you say when something died, in respect for the end of
Mourning.
the Eras tour, in mourning. I am wearing my Fearless Taylor's version shirt, and then I am wearing my Tortured Poets Department necklace.
Wait, you have a Tortured Poets necklace?
Look at that.
Is it official? Like, is it from
Yeah.
Taylor's? It is. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely it is. And it
Damn.
sold out like instantly, but my lovely husband has a alert set for the Taylor Swift store, and so when something comes out that's going to sell out, he buys it right away. And he got me this necklace that now it goes for many hundreds of dollars online for reasons I don't fully understand.
Wow.
So the Eras tour ended. It ended on Sunday. I, in honor of the Eras tour, I guess I went to Natasha's house with the people that I went to the Eras tour with, which is her sister Zara, our friend Haley, and Natasha's mom. But she was tired and didn't want to be there until midnight when it ended. So she FaceTimed us, and we watched a grainy, fucked up live stream that some TikTokers were doing, and we watched the whole thing, and we did not cry.
You did not cry. There was no tears.
There was no tears. We did not cry, although I think that we're all probably like emotionally reeling to some degree by not having something to watch every weekend that is exactly the same every single time. But
Wait. So you've been watching Eras tour performances live streamed the entire tour?
not every show, but I do watch it pretty often. I mean, normally I won't watch like the whole beginning and then I'll just tune in for the surprise songs because I want to see whatever surprise song she does, because those who somehow don't know and have avoided this knowledge, every show Taylor Swift has a section that she calls the acoustic section, where she has a guitar and she sings surprise songs. So there'll be like a song from anywhere in her discography that she doesn't sing during the normal set. So it's a surprise every night. She sings one on guitar and one on piano. So I usually will tune in for that specifically and then kind of tune out. But it's been going on for so fucking long. Like it just kind of
this
felt
tour
like it was never going to end.
Yeah. Well, how many years has she been on the Eras tour?
Over a year, like not 2 years, but like a year and a half at least, like minimum. And like, so like there was a lot of like theories going around that like, okay, it's the last show of the Eras tour. Like everybody has been waiting for her to release Reputation, Taylor's version, and her debut album in Taylor's version. She has not released either. Everybody was kind of expecting, okay, last night of the Eras tour, she's obviously gonna drop Reputation. And she did not. And she didn't drop a documentary either, which people thought that she was gonna do. I kind of assumed she wasn't going to do anything special. I kind of assumed it was going to be like she played some nice surprise songs and that was the end. And that is what it was. She, said thank you to all of her dancers and they bowed, and she played Long Live at the surprise songs, which is like her song to her fans. It was nice, and it's over now, and all the Swifties probably are like going to enter a psych ward and they're probably in credit card debt, and God help us all. But rest in peace to the Eras tour. And long live all the magic we made. And
incredible amounts of magic.
I mean, that is a Taylor Swift song quote, and I'm trying to think of more. I don't know. I'll just do that one. That seems fine. All of her other ones are too sad.
She'll be back on tour again in no time. She'll come up with another tour, right? It's never going to stop. Like, it's
my theory, and I don't necessarily know that this is true because this isn't. My Taylor Swift theories are normally true because they're based in some level of fact, but this is just total speculation and probably not true. But in my fantasies, what she does is that she does like a short tour just for Reputation, Taylor's version, and for Debut, Taylor's version, which the Swifties refer to as Debutation because it's like Debut and Reputation. And so my hope is that she will do a mini Debutation tour, which is never going to happen. But that's just like me praying to a God I don't believe in.
and if it did happen, you would swipe your credit card again to go.
I don't have a credit card because I don't want to go into debt and I fear debt and I would rather just have $0 than go into debt. But absolutely, yes, I will get a credit card. I will go into debt. I will spend all the money in my bank account. I will sell fucking all the jewelry I own. It's not worth much, but I'll sell my Torture Post apartment necklace. I mean, I'll ruin my life to go to that tour. Taylor, if you're listening, help me.
Damn. Well, speaking of help, I do have to give her credit. She gave away, or she bonused her crew. Like, I want to say the Eras Tour grossed like $2 billion or something absurd.
$2 billion, yeah.
And she bonused her dancers, her makeup artists, her masseuse,
her truck drivers,
all the kind of like union dudes who put her stage together.
All the gaffers, all the sound guys, all of the set designers, she gave them each $127 million.
Wait, she didn't give them each $127 million. She gave them collectively.
She gave them, I think she gave the truck drivers.
She didn't give them $127 million. What are you talking about?
How much is $2 billion, Brad?
She gave each truck driver $127 million.
Oh, she gave each truck driver something like, let me look at it.
$100 grand, not $100 million.
No, it was million. She gave the truck drivers $1 million something before any of this.
Jesus. Well, she didn't give everybody $100 million, Mira.
Bonuses. Eras Tour. You might be right, but it's like a fuckload of money.
I think it was $57 million total that she bonused, or maybe 157, something like that. But it was an enormous sum of money, really, that she didn't have to give these people, and I found that to be admirable.
Yeah, like some people got up to $55 million.
No, they didn't get $55 million.
I'm reading it right now.
Who got $55 million?
Backup dancers?
Collectively?
This is saying each.
No.
Okay.
she gave her backup dancers $55 million each.
Brad, if you started from the moment you were born, you would not count to 1 billion by age 30. You could not. You would not get there by age 30.
Yeah, but I can do
money that is.
I know, but I can do math. Like,
okay, so she gives out $100 million to, let's say she has 700 people on the Eras Tour. That does not even add up to 1 billion.
If she gave $100 million spread out among 700 people.
If she gave $100 million to each of those people.
That would be $7 billion, wouldn't it?
What?
700 people and they each get $100 million? That would be like 70 billion.
70 billion? You're just naming shit.
But 700 times 100 million.
Okay, I'm looking.
Maybe
you might be right. I don't know. I'm not very good at math.
It's 10 zeros. It's 10 zeros.
100 million.
7 and 10 zeros would be
times 700.
Oh my God. Why do we do math on this show? It never works out.
I can't even figure it out with a calculator. I'm giving up. You're right though. It probably was not 100 million per person, but she gave to just her truck drivers alone before this bonus something with million at the end each.
I don't think it was each. I think she bonused them each $100,000.
The truck drivers?
Yeah, but she might have then subsequently now at the end of the tour bonus them again. That's what I think
She
happened.
did bonus them twice. She bonused them again. I think this bonus was more than the last bonus, but like the higher level truck drivers got like at least $1 million.
Wow. Well, good for her. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have to give her credit. I mean, I'm not like a huge Swiftie, but I think Taylor deserves a tip of the cap for being a sane and generous person.
I mean, I will say, not to upset any Beyonce fans out there, but the extra bonus that Beyonce gave to her crew and dancers was a signed photo. And
really?
That's it.
That's it.
And that is it. So, well, that's a very good transition to one of our topics, which is technically the second topic, but
might as well.
So speaking of Beyonce, so we've been following pretty much. I mean, the Diddy lawsuit. I believe, I will say, because I love being right, when we predicted who was going to be in this lawsuit, I did say Jay-Z. And he is part of this lawsuit. So he has been accused of raping a 13-year-old girl at a 2000 MTV VMAs after party at Diddy's house. So apparently they raped the girl together, is what they're saying. It was both of them. He was named... okay, let's see. So the anonymous accuser in October had originally listed Diddy as the only defendant that we knew of. And now it's being released that Jay-Z is also part of this case that she is bringing against them. So she claims that she was offered a drink and that made her feel woozy and lightheaded before she then went into a bedroom to lie down for a moment. And shortly after...
And she was 13.
13. She was 13 years old.
Allegedly.
This is what she's alleging, yeah. And so she's saying that shortly after she went into the room, the two rappers entered the room and said, "You are ready to party," and then raped her.
And we should, I think, clarify this is a civil suit. So Jay-Z is being sued. He's not being charged in a criminal court as of yet, I guess. But he also, it should be noted, like vehemently denies this and wants the case dismissed. He's calling it like a money grab by this lawyer.
So he's saying it's a blackmail attempt, essentially, and calls a demand from lawyer Tony Busby, saying that it was calculated and that the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make him want to settle, basically.
Which there's some logic to that. If you're a lawyer and you're just trying to cash in, you bring a suit against Jay-Z and like he's so rich, he can just be like, yeah, here's $100 million, like go away.
I mean, but also if you're Jay-Z accused of doing rape and you have a lawyer, blackmail is immediately what you would go to as a defense.
Yeah, like, I mean, I can see it both ways. I mean, like the thing is, I don't fucking know what happened. I mean,
I have no fucking idea, but I can totally see it both ways. I mean, if the lawyer is defending Jay-Z for this complaint, blackmail is like the obvious defense that you would use. And in fact, his lawyer said, Jay-Z's lawyer said, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case." So, like, the lawyer is basically trying to call her bluff and saying, like, if this is really true, why did you file a civil case instead of a criminal one? And I'm not a lawyer. This doesn't constitute legal advice, but I will answer that. And it's because a criminal case requires a lot more money, a lot more evidence, so much more to be able to get in front of a judge, versus a civil case is the kind of thing where it could generate evidence that could help you in a criminal trial. So like O.J. Simpson, for example, won his criminal trial and lost his civil case. And that is what got him in jail. So it's just...
No, I don't think he went to jail as a result of the civil case, but he was received a huge
pay.
financial penalty,
Yeah.
penalty, which he of course like avoided paying for the rest of his life.
Right, because he went to jail for like gambling shit. He like did something really stupid to get in jail.
Like totally unrelated to the murders of Ron and Nicole. It was like he was in Vegas years later and like got caught up in some scam regarding like memorabilia, like sports memorabilia.
Right. It's so fucking insane. It's like you get away with the whole murder and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna like get in a fight over sports memorabilia. Fucking idiot.
But I don't get, like, I don't know. I feel like Jay-Z, I thought like, well, this guy's just going to make this go away. But he seems like he's trying to protect his name. He's probably trying to like protect, I mean,
he's got like a whole, Jay-Z is worth so much money. Like Jay-Z and Beyonce are worth an insane amount of money. I'm sure he's like trying to like, yeah, like you're saying, protect his name and empire and whatever the fuck. Like,
well, the point is that like if he settles and the word gets out that he settled, then it's just going to imply some sort of guilt. And if he goes to the mat, then it's obviously going to take up time and it'll be in the spotlight. There's really no win for him. So like if he's innocent, if he didn't do this and he's being frivolously attacked in some kind of extortionate scheme, then I feel really bad for him because there's nothing he can do to look good. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, this is just
so
like,
what's interesting to me is, generally speaking, when something like this happens, like a celebrity will settle, but the settlement will include an NDA. So it's like you settle, but nobody will ever know about the complaint in the first place, and the fact that he didn't do that makes me feel like maybe she filed the civil complaint publicly before she ever gave him a chance to settle privately. And so now if he were to settle the case, it would be public information that he settled the case. Whereas if she had come to him privately, or her lawyer had come to him privately and been like, we're going to put a civil case against you, he maybe could have offered her enough money and an NDA to shut the fuck up. Or maybe she would never shut up. Maybe she wouldn't take the NDA and was like, no. Yeah, that's also possible.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, wow, these people have enough money that they couldn't, the lawyer have just quietly been like, we're going to bring this. You have a chance to settle like under the table, basically. But that didn't happen. So now it's like out in the open. I
mean, it makes me feel like she didn't want to settle. Because a lawyer would like advise you to try to, if you wanted money, like the lawyer would advise you to try and settle with an NDA first. And if it's not about money, then he would, push the case forward. So I don't know.
I feel really bad for their kids. Like to have to go to school and like this. I mean, I want to say their eldest is old enough where like, kids will know about it.
Yeah.
It's in the news. And so it's just like, that's really sad to me that they have to deal with that.
I feel bad for the kids for sure.
And then Beyonce is probably like, okay, this is not ideal.
I mean, I have felt this way for a long time. There's a motorcycle going by. Okay. That marriage should have ended at Lemonade. Lemonade should have been the fucking end. Lemonade should have ended in a fucking divorce. He fucking cheated on her in a big fucking way. It was not just like he fucked somebody once. He cheated on her enough that people found out. And that's what made Beyonce mad. And like, she should have fucking left. She should have fucking left. She should have taken half of the fucking empire and not been so fucking greedy that she wanted the whole thing. Your husband, I'm sorry you're religious, but your husband fucked somebody else and he's going to keep fucking other people. Leave him. Divorce him. You're better than him, Beyonce. He looks like a fucking frog and he cheated on Beyonce. I mean, he's a fucking loser. And now he's like, oh, like maybe he raped a 13-year-old girl. Leave his ass, Beyonce. What is the point of staying with him? Literally, what's the point? He has not made a single good song since 99 Problems.
They've got kids. That's what it is. I mean,
what? The kids, like, I firmly believe this. Don't stay together for the kids. It's worse for the kids. The kids are better off having divorced parents who are happy than having parents together who are unhappy.
I mean, assuming they're unhappy. We're assuming a lot. I mean, but it does.
I'd be unhappy.
I didn't know. I didn't know that he had cheated on her with Lemonade. I don't know all that backstory, but
I mean, did you listen to Lemonade?
Maybe. I don't know.
Becky with the good hair.
Oh, right. Okay. I remember that phrase.
Yeah, it's coming back to you. It's coming back. I mean, and if he cheated on her, like, one time, who the fuck cheats on Beyonce when you look like Jay-Z? It's fucking psychotic. The man is a crazy person. Like, what the fuck? I don't trust him as far as I can fucking throw him.
Well, there's a weird social media response from Beyonce's mom, Tina.
She claimed that she was hacked after puzzling reaction to Jay-Z rape lawsuit.
Right.
So basically, Beyonce's mom, Tina Knowles, claimed that she was hacked.
I don't think she was hacked. See, this is where I smell bullshit here. I think
This
she...
is what celebrities always say when they get in trouble on the internet. They're like, oh, I was hacked. I didn't do that. Like, what she did was she liked a post about Jay-Z being sued for rape.
That's quite a thing for a mother-in-law to do about her son-in-law, assuming that's what she did. And she did it, and she did it on purpose. Like, it wasn't like she accidentally clicked the button and didn't realize it or something.
If she was hacked, no one's just going to hack her account and like that post and then leave. That's insane. What is the point of that? Like, that's not what a hacker is ever going to do. And I want to remind everybody of one of the best pop culture moments that I can recall, which is Solange Knowles, Beyonce's sister, fucking physically attacking Jay-Z in an elevator.
I remember that.
And Beyonce didn't do shit. She stood in a corner smiling the whole time. Literally. And like, we never found out what that was about. Lemonade came out afterwards, and so probably it was about that. But we know that Solange does not like that motherfucker. And I will tell you something. If your sister does not like the man that you're marrying, don't fucking marry that man because your sister's right.
It would be an indicator, especially if you're close with your sister.
Unless your sister's like a fucking crazy person, then, you know, there's exceptions. But like, my feeling is that if your trusted friends, family, sister, girls, if they don't trust the man that you're with, be suspect. Don't trust him. That's like, that is a good indicator that the man you're with is not trustworthy. And she didn't just disapprove. She attacked him in an elevator. It would take so much for me to physically attack one of my friends' boyfriends or husbands. Like, I'm not saying I would never do it, but it would take a lot for me to do that.
What would it take?
I mean,
if they raped a 13-year-old, would that do it?
Yes, absolutely. And less than that would do it. If I found out that my friend's long-term boyfriend, husband, whatever, was like secretly having an affair with like a close friend of ours or a close friend of my friend, that might do it. Like a long-term affair, that might do it. Yeah. I mean, I have a friend. You know what? I'm not going to tell this story because I don't want to get them in trouble. And if the person listening, or if the person who it's about was listening, they would immediately know it was about them. So I'm not going to say it. But I have a friend who did some serious damage to a piece of property because a boy was mean to me, and I would do absolutely the same thing.
Damn.
This is the shit that like girls, and I'm including gay men here, girly friendships, girlies have each other's backs. Always. And if your girl doesn't have your back, then she's not your girl. So that's how I feel about female friendships. And Beyonce and her sister are close. They're friends. They're close. And she did not at all, like, Beyonce did not at all try to say, like, my sister was wrong. My sister was, fucking up. My sister was on drugs. She was just like, yeah, okay.
Has Beyonce commented on this civil suit against Jay-Z?
Nope. And I don't think she ever will. I think that she would sooner divorce him. Like, I think that there's like almost no celebrity who is as like private and poised as Beyonce. That woman fucking cares about her public image. She barely gives interviews. She is very, very, very careful. She won't comment unless she is absolutely forced to.
It's so fucking crazy. What is your read on it? Do you have a prediction or like a strong feeling one way or the other?
I mean, Jay-Z did it. I 100% believe he did it. For sure he did it. He did it. I mean, there's so many photos of him, like, laying in beds at fucking Diddy's house. Like, they were such close friends. Like, he did it. I was thinking before this, best case scenario, he knew about what was going on and didn't do anything about it. But he did it. Like, that's my feeling. Like,
Right.
I'm not a legal expert, but I do think for sure that he did it, and I've never trusted that motherfucker.
Damn.
And again, has not had good music for, 2 decades? He's a businessman.
I don't know anything about it. I couldn't. I mean, I know 99 Problems, but
now he's
that's
got
it.
100 problems.
He's got some serious problems. That's just like, that's a heavy allegation. I don't know how you, I mean, if it's proven or if he loses the civil suit, what do you do with that? Like, I don't know if you can really continue in polite society. Like, I guess maybe you could in this world, but
I wonder if he loses the civil suit, if Beyonce will stay with him or not.
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's like, what do you do? Like, like,
Hopefully Beyonce would leave him over that. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, that's like, if you're going to leave someone over something, that makes sense to me.
you would think, but who knows? People are crazy.
Speaking of crazy people, I actually don't believe this person was crazy, but I'm trying to have a good transition here to what is inevitably going to be our main topic of the day, which is the fact that a beautiful, handsome man named
Ripped.
handsome. I mean, big eyebrows, just fucking like a bisexual, beautiful man.
Is he bisexual?
Confirmed bisexual man, and he killed the CEO of United Healthcare in broad daylight in Manhattan in like the coolest possible way. He then dropped.
Wait, what do you mean the coolest possible way?
He just fucking sat there waiting for the CEO to show up to his fucking like investor meeting or whatever. And in broad fucking daylight, casually walks up with a gun with like a silencer or some shit. I don't know about guns. Shoots this guy like from like, I don't know, 8 feet away, directly in the heart from behind. Walks up to him, shoots him again, looks at him, makes sure that he's not breathing, and then casually crosses the street, like slowly, like just kind of saunters across the street, no problem. And it has taken the police a full fucking week to find this guy. It's incredible. And on the bullet casings that came out of the gun for his shots, he did 3 shots. And the bullet casing said, deny, defend, depose. Brad, do you know what those words mean?
I think it's like the title of a book, right? It was like the title of a book about the health insurance industry or something.
It was, but one word difference with the title of that book. I can't remember what the one word difference was, but deny, defend, depose is a term that is used within the health insurance industry. And it is the method that they use when any kind of lawsuit is brought against them by a patient. So first you deny the claim of the patient, then you defend the denial of the claim and the company, then you depose the patient. And that's a very, very common term that is used inside the health insurance industry.
What does depose mean? You put them on the stand?
Yeah.
And you like grill them somehow, like your lawyers grilled them?
Yeah, that's right.
It's a fucked up business, I'll tell you that. But I feel like this has just been so wild, the response to this guy's murder, where like people are like gleeful almost that
even
this guy
like
got
regular ass libs are just like, hell yeah. Like if that isn't like an indicator that something is fucking shifting, I don't know what is. Cause like I like people who like, people who say like, I would have voted for Obama a 3rd time are like cheering on a fucking assassin who killed a healthcare CEO.
Well, I mean, so are conservatives. I mean, so are right wingers.
It is like uniting the country. This is like literally like this. Everybody loves it. And
like, I'm no fan of health insurance, but I got to be honest. Like cheering for somebody getting shot to death, I feel a little weird about that.
Well, that sucks for you because it fucking rolled and it was dope. And the thing is that man is responsible for the death of thousands of people in ways that are way more horrific than the way that he died. He died like a dog in the street, which I like. But he died quickly. He died painlessly. The people that he killed, the thousands of people that he is responsible for killing, did not die painlessly. They died slowly with sickness in a horrifically painful way. And so I think that not only did he deserve to be shot, but he deserved more than that. That's my feeling. You might be a little bit more empathetic than me. I don't know, but
I just feel it's
my empathy for the shooter.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's complicated, right? It's complicated, but I feel like
it's cool that he died. It's not that complicated.
But I mean, like, okay, so like if we're going to extrapolate, because I've been thinking about this, where it's like, okay, so let's say, just like hypothetically, that this guy did deserve to die.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's responsible for this like really horrific, corrupt system that causes untold suffering and death.
And let's be clear, this man was responsible for creating an AI program that would supposedly decide whether or not a claim should be accepted, whether or not somebody needs the medicine that they're claiming they need or needs the procedure that they're claiming they need. And this AI system was like, had an insane amount of just incorrect and just like cruel and horrific results. And this man specifically is responsible for instituting this. So when I say he's responsible for thousands of deaths, it's not just that he was the CEO of a healthcare company. It's that he is responsible personally for doing that.
Okay. So here's my question though. So he deserves it. He gets shot. Everybody claps. And then it's like, yeah, who's next? Like that's kind of that's kind of the mode we're in now. It's like, okay, CEOs better get their security detail.
That's right.
Is that what? But it's like, who decides which
get
CEOs?
Your security detail, bitch. Who decides what CEOs? The man with the gun does.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like we're in an insane space when it's like, yeah, let's just start taking out CEOs with assault rifles.
Here's the thing. If you're a CEO of a company that it's worth above a certain amount of money, if they're, you know, like the hypothetical thought experiment that people have, where if there was a button that you could press that would kill a stranger, but give you $1 billion, would you press it? A billionaire, any billionaire, their whole job is pressing that button repeatedly all day long, constantly. They just press that button top speed, nonstop. That's what these people do. All day, every day. And they have no remorse about it. And so one of them died. Okay. Well, what about all of the fucking thousands of people that these people have killed? And maybe they fucking should be scared. Maybe they should have been scared a long time ago because everybody else is scared and that's their fault.
Yeah, it's like it's a violent system that they
created and they perpetuate.
Right. And then that violence is eventually going to redound. Yeah, it is eventually going to redound. I get that. There's a logic.
It's like if these CEOs want to be safe, then maybe they should stop doing things and make people want to shoot them down in the street in daylight in Manhattan and then let them bleed to death on the street like a dog and have everybody celebrate it.
Yeah.
Even his wife hasn't come out and been like, this was terrible.
Well, she's probably scared.
He got some death threats, I guess, from, denying claims or whatever. I don't know. Nobody has come out and been like, this was terrible. Because they're fucking scared. And they should be. They should be scared. I'm glad they're scared. This has been a class war that has been going on for a long time. A long time. And it has been a one-sided class war. And now they're scared. And that's good.
Yeah.
So if anyone was wondering where my politics are at, it's right there. Luigi Mangione is
Luigi Mangione.
Luigi Mangione is.
I'm not even convinced. Hero. Okay, so here's like.
Oh yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, because I'm like confused about some things.
Same.
So first of all, let's go over some of the basic facts about this guy. He's a rich guy. He's born in, he's raised in a wealthy family.
A real estate family. He went to Penn, which is an Ivy League.
Yeah, he went to an Ivy League school, went to an elite high school, like private high school.
He was valedictorian.
He's very handsome, as you have said. And he goes to...
as I also said.
What's that?
Bisexual, as I also said.
Or maybe gay, but like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he strikes me as gay, but yeah.
So, but here's the question that I have. This guy's obviously very intelligent. He was able to source a ghost gun and a silencer, as I understand it, which is the murder weapon.
I don't really understand guns, but yes.
A ghost gun is basically assembled from parts, like disparate parts, so it's not traceable. It's got no serial number attached to it. And then a silencer is not necessarily the easiest thing to get, as far as I understand it. Like it's not
legal in certain places or something.
I don't know, but I feel like, yeah, maybe so. I don't know enough about guns. I'm not a gun person, but like I feel like getting silencer isn't necessarily like simple.
Right.
So he's able to get these things. He's then able to trace the whereabouts of the CEO of, I think, the largest health insurance provider in the country.
Which was not hard because they were having a shareholders meeting that was very public and people knew about.
Okay. So anyway, he's got that information. He's got the weaponry. He goes to Manhattan. He does this and then escapes, as you said, like casually, like rides away on his bike or whatever and disappears. And for a week, the cops can't find him.
Almost a week, a couple of days. Yeah.
Yeah. Like 4 days. I think it was 4 days. But here's my question.
And then yesterday they are like, we found him, you know, Luigi Manigone, whatever the fuck. Here he is. We found him. And yeah, go on. Okay.
He's arrested in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Like 4 or 5 hours, I think, from Manhattan. He's in a fucking McDonald's. He's got the murder weapon on him. He's got like a manifesto on him. So there's two things that I think. First of all, nobody this smart would be this dumb.
Yeah.
Like what, he only gets like 4 or 5 hours away. He's had 4 days to escape.
I mean, look, it's like, what, can we not go to McDonald's with a manifesto and several fake IDs and a murder weapon anymore? I mean, I do that like once a week. And it's like, you know, now the cops are like, oh, I'm not allowed to have a manifesto in the McDonald's. Oh, okay.
It just doesn't make any sense unless, and this is where I think comes full circle. It's like, unless he really wanted to get caught, like he had a martyr complex, and this was part of his mission, was to get caught and become a martyr for this cause.
So another thing that happened like literally right before we started recording is that Luigi's lawyers came out and said that the police planted evidence on him. So now this is where I've gone into a rabbit hole, a very Mira-esque. I've come up with theories about this. So just, I have it in front of me just to go through the timeline of events. So on December 9th, the authorities announced that they've detained Luigi, 26 years old. The way that they detained him was that an elderly person in a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, alerted the police that they saw somebody who looked like the shooter. Now, that's insane. Because if you look at a picture of Luigi and a picture of the shooter, I get where they could maybe be the same person, but it would be crazy to just see this guy in a McDonald's and go, that's the shooter, and then call the police, because he doesn't look like it. It's not, and like, we don't know what the fuck he looked like. Even the picture of him with the mask down, it's like, you would not see this guy and think that it was him at all. It's like, it is a bizarre, so that doesn't make sense, number one. The other thing is that a McDonald's employee told the police that he was carrying several fake IDs, told the police that he used a fake ID at McDonald's. Why the fuck would you use an ID at McDonald's?
For what?
For what? They don't sell alcohol at McDonald's. That makes zero sense. Why did he use an ID at McDonald's? Are they selling vodka at McDonald's now? Like, what the fuck? Are they selling cigarettes at McDonald's? Do they have porn at McDonald's? Like, you
have to use your ID to get a McRib, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Then you have to like sign a paper saying you're assuming the risk, and then you have to give your ID.
So I don't know. It's like, it just seems like so weird to me.
Okay, the police said he was carrying several fake IDs, a U.S. passport, a gun with a suppressor similar to the one used in the shooting, and a 3-page handwritten manifesto. Which, okay, so like you fucking shoot a guy, you shoot a healthcare CEO, you're the most wanted man in fucking the United States. Everybody is talking about you. And you decide to go to McDonald's with all of your fake IDs, the murder weapon, and a manifesto in your backpack. No, that doesn't make any fucking sense at all. And I don't fucking buy it. And I think that Luigi might be the shooter. I wouldn't be surprised if he was. But there's a thing called parallel construction. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
So for those who don't know, parallel construction, I'm reading from the Wikipedia page here. Parallel construction is a law enforcement process of building a parallel or separate evidentiary basis for a criminal investigation in order to limit disclosures as to the origins of an investigation. This is something that is well known, commonly used by the police. There are hundreds of proven cases of this. Essentially what it is that the police will get real evidence from an illegal source. So an example of this could be the NSA calls up the NYPD, right? They have used what we know that they have, illegal technology for tracking phones. I'm not saying this is what happened here. This is an example of parallel construction. Then they would have somebody from the NSA call the police and say, okay, be at this place at a certain time. The lower level officers show up there. They arrest this guy because they're told to. And then the police come out and say, well, we got this anonymous tip saying that this guy was going to be here. And then we went there and there he was. Amazing. Then they have covered up the fact that they've gotten their evidence in an illegal manner. So Luigi's lawyer coming out today saying that evidence was planted on him, I 100,000,000,000% believe that. Absolutely. I think that the police found this evidence in a way that they don't want public. They don't want people to know how they found that the shooter was in the McDonald's. So they planted evidence on him. And they came up with this fucking clearly fake ass story of, there's like 2 stories of how they found him in the McDonald's too. They say an elderly person called because he looked like the shooter. And they say that he had to give an ID in McDonald's and somehow that made the McDonald's employee call authorities, which makes no sense because you don't know his name.
And you don't give your ID to anybody
and you don't ever give your ID in McDonald's. It makes no fucking sense at all. He was eating a hash brown. We have a picture of him eating a hash brown in McDonald's. It makes no fucking sense. And knowing that this is a like common tactic used by police, so common. I mean, if he's the shooter, that's what they did.
They're going to make an example out of him. I'll tell you that.
And the police need to find somebody here. If they don't find somebody, that is like the worst possible look for the police of all time. Like the police desperately need to put a face to this. They need to make an example out of somebody. Otherwise, you know, like all of the rich people that they are there to protect are in danger. And they're all going to be fucking furious.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like these,
humiliating
the oligarch class in America, the oligarchs are just going to be like, yeah, this guy's got to be strung up in order for us to send a message to anybody else.
Somebody has to be strung up. Somebody has to be blamed for this. Otherwise, everybody's fucked, basically. And the pressure to find somebody has to be so strong that either they used really illegal methods to find the shooter or this guy isn't the shooter. Like these pictures that they've released, those are 3 different guys. Sorry. It doesn't make sense. The original picture of the shooter in Starbucks, he didn't have a unibrow. This guy has a unibrow. You can't shave a unibrow and then grow it back in 4 days. I have a unibrow. I know that. It makes no sense.
Maybe Mira's the shooter. Maybe Mira's actually the one.
You know what? I am not brave enough, and I am not smart enough, and I am not. I am too tired. I'm too tired. I could never do it, but I can sit here and say I support him, and that he's done more for the cause than I ever will.
Well, I was kind of hoping that he was going to, I think everyone was like, is he going to get away? And from the standpoint of pure mythology,
that would have been amazing.
If he would, but the thing is that if this guy, if it really is Luigi Mangione who did this, the guy that was picked up at this McDonald's, he had 4-day head start. And the farthest he could get was Altoona, Pennsylvania. Have a fucking escape plan, bro. He should have gone straight to the airport in a suit and tie and just gotten on the first flight to like a non-extradition country. That's what you
Right.
do.
I mean, maybe that's where he was like trying to hide or something. But yeah, it doesn't fully make sense. Maybe he was on his way to like go to the airport. I don't even know. It doesn't make any sense at all. And like the way that they're saying that they were able to like track him to a Greyhound that he took somehow. How were they able to track him? He wasn't using, they said he had multiple fake IDs. He wasn't using the same ID everywhere. And they're saying like, oh, like at first they released the pictures of him from the hotel and the mayor and the police were like, we don't have a name for him. Now suddenly we know what ID he was using at the hotel. How?
Yeah, I don't get it.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. Like,
what if it isn't him?
No
What if
sense.
he's a patsy?
I mean, my feeling is that either it's fully just 100% not him, or I mean, the cops use like seriously illegal methods to find him and plant this evidence on him. And they're like a quote unquote manifesto was going around yesterday. I could not find the source for it. A reporter I trust very much, Ken Klippenstein, said it's fake. It's not real. And reading it, yeah, it's fucking fake and not real. That is like some shit written by an FBI intern. That is like the fucking most like I'm gonna write a fake manifesto that I've ever seen in my fucking life. It was like
It was AI. It was probably
it read like ChatGPT. It was like everything was all crazy and misspelled and weird. It had like a kind of moving account of like someone struggling with healthcare, like trying to like get healthcare. But this guy comes from a rich family. It doesn't make the story about his mother not being able to access care doesn't make sense because they can afford it. This wasn't like, I mean, like, I do think that he was in one of the more compelling pieces of evidence that it was Luigi is that he got a surgery on his back for severe back pain that he got from wrestling in high school. And that kind of surgery is one of the worst surgeries a person can get, almost always leads to significantly more pain, like just like unlivable amounts of pain. And he had also apparently disappeared for like 6 months and his family had not heard from him and his friends had not heard from him. And he was just like, no one knew where he went. Those are the two pieces of evidence to me that are compelling to think that it was him. But this manifesto was the fakest thing I've ever read in my entire life. It was fake. It was fake. It just was. He started out the manifesto by saying, like, MLK, Nelson Mandela, Gandhi, they all taught you nonviolence, and this is where it got you. Yeah, that's not fucking him. That is some FBI fucking trying to make everybody angry shit. It is just, there's no fucking way.
It's fucking crazy, man. This is where do you think it? I don't think it leads any. Everyone's like, this is it. This is the change. This is like it's bringing everybody together. This is the first step in the
Change happens slowly.
What's that?
Change happens pretty slowly. I mean, these healthcare CEOs have been killing thousands of people for decades and decades and decades, and this is the first time one was shot.
I'm just cynical.
It takes a long time, and like I don't know if anyone's going to get shot again soon, you know, like I don't think that's necessarily going to happen, but I do think that there's a lot of terminally ill people who have nothing to live for, who are seeing that this guy is being celebrated. So who knows?
Yeah. I guess I'm just wondering if it's going to, you know, I feel like maybe it's overblown, like the impact of this. I think maybe like,
well, I think the impact is there. I don't know if the impact is going to lead to people like doing this again, like shooting other healthcare CEO. Like, I don't think that that's necessarily going to happen, but I think the impact is there and it's like not what people expected. I don't think that any of the ruling class expected for everybody to celebrate this as much as they did. I think that they expected for people to say violence is bad. This is a shame, but you know, like this guy is shitty, but violence is still bad. Don't do it. Nobody is saying that. That I think is probably genuinely shocking to a lot of wealthy people, and that is something. It's more than what we had the day before he did it.
Maybe it'll be like, you know, an impetus for these CEOs to change their behavior a little bit.
I mean, all of these, every single fucking health insurance website has removed the page about their leadership. They don't want people to know who their CEOs even are. And like, to me, CEOs being afraid of being shot down in the street anytime they go in public, that alone is a good thing. That alone is...
Like any CEO or just like health insurance CEOs?
health insurance CEOs and like a lot of other CEOs, people who are wealthy and know that they are forcing people to suffer. They should be afraid of dying like dogs in the street.
This phrase, you're attached to it. Dying like dogs in the street.
Mm-hmm. Dying like a fucking animal, bleeding out in the street. Everyone's walking by you. That lady at the ATM who was there in the video, he shot the guy. There was a lady at the ATM. He kind of nods to her. She runs away. Have we heard anything from the lady at the ATM? She kept her mouth shut. She was like, I saw this guy die in the street. He's a healthcare CEO. And, well, I don't know.
She's probably like, I don't want to become a target.
Yeah, she's like, I want nothing to do with this. I'm not a fucking snitch. Do I look like a fucking narc? No. And that's like why the police probably had to use illegal methods to find him, because no one's fucking narking on this guy. No one wants to be the guy to narc on the fucking hero.
Yeah, if you were the one who snitched on this guy, you could be in deep shit with like a lot of the population.
And like that is also a success to me. People should know not to fucking snitch. Keep your goddamn mouth shut. Don't talk to police, period. Don't talk to cops. It's the best advice I could give anyone. Don't fucking talk to cops. They seem nice. Oh, they seem like, oh, you didn't do the crime. Oh, you're just trying to help. No, you want a lawyer. That's all you say.
Don't talk to cops.
Don't talk to cops. It's the best, maybe only good advice that my father ever gave me. Don't talk to cops.
So, is there anything else? I mean, I feel like we've covered the basics of it. This guy's going to go to trial. He's probably going to be convicted.
He's been accused of several. I'm not totally sure what he's been charged with, but he's been charged with crimes as of this morning. His lawyer is saying that they planted evidence, so that's probably going to be his defense. I would bet that his trial is going to be so insane on the outside. I mean, there are going to be so many protesters, so many people like, please fuck me, Luigi. Like, so many people just like, I mean, the man could be drowning in dick if he wanted to. Like, it's like everybody loves him.
Yeah, I mean, it was like very noticeable on social media how much thirst there was for Luigi.
He's hot. I was thirsting after him. Like, he's like hot as hell. It's like lucky that we got a health insurance assassin who is as hot as him.
He looks, I mean, I know he has this back problem, but he looks robustly healthy in his photos. Like,
he got the back problem because he was like an athlete.
Right.
I mean, it makes sense. He like was very athletic, and I think a lot of, probably his depression was like not just due to constant pain, but also that he can't do these athletic things that he likes doing.
I get that. Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, you would probably kill a, health insurance CEO if that happened to you, right?
Yeah, I would definitely turn homicidal if I couldn't move. If I suddenly had to be inert, what would I do with myself?
So, I mean, okay, so I guess we can talk about a lot less historically important stories that we have now.
Yeah, this is like that's getting heavy. People are getting shot like dogs in the street. Like, let's get back to like mindless celebrity gossip.
Yeah, I mean, like I'll get as extreme as anyone can get, but it's probably better if we talk about Katie Holmes instead. So,
by the way, for those of you at home, every time Mira says "shot like a dog in the street," you have to drink. That's the rule of this episode.
You have to take a shot, and like you are going to die by the end of this episode. So,
you bled out like a stuck pig in an alley.
I mean, a pig and a dog deserve better than that guy does.
Jeez.
What have a pig and a dog ever done to fucking hurt humanity? Nothing. Except maybe that dog that Biden owned who was just biting the fuck out of everybody. That dog maybe did some damage to humanity.
Yeah, the dog I think he bit like Secret Service agents like 50 times.
That's really funny.
What was his name? It was like Colonel, Sergeant, some sort of military name. Major.
Like
I think it was Major.
Biden? Yeah.
Major
I'm on a team Major Biden. So our next story concerns another assassin. No, I'm just kidding. Our next story is about Suri Cruise and Katie Holmes. So let's see. Suri Cruise. I see. Katie Holmes breaks silence on trust fund rumors. So Katie Holmes rarely speaks out about stuff. I think that she is terrified of Scientology, probably rightfully so. And so I guess the media started reporting that her daughter, Suri Cruise, Tom Cruise's daughter as well, became a millionaire the day she turned 18 because of her trust fund. So I guess it came as a surprise because Tom Cruise hasn't even seen Suri in like years and years and years. But on Sunday, Katie Holmes went to Instagram to set the record straight with a post that is very rare. She doesn't post a lot. She said, Daily Mail, you can stop making stuff up. Enough. Which is pretty, I guess that's pretty self-explanatory.
So Suri Cruise does not have a trust fund.
So what Katie Holmes said is, what has been really important for me with my daughter, because she was so visible at a young age, is I really like to protect her. I'm very grateful to be her parent. She's an incredible person. Which doesn't really answer the question. I feel this response is making me feel like she did indeed become a millionaire when she was 18, but Katie Holmes doesn't like that people are talking about it, which is fine. She has a trust fund, whatever. We all knew that she was rich. Like, I
just think like she's worried about people like kidnapping or extorting, or there are crazy people in the world. If they know, it just puts a target on her, I guess.
Yeah, like worried about like, I don't know, Scientology finding out that Tom Cruise gave her that money or something like that. Like,
they don't give a fuck. He's the king of Scientology. He can do whatever he wants in Scientology. But I feel like he's been totally uninvolved in her upbringing, right? Like he's a filthy rich dude. He should be giving her a trust fund. Like, Take care of your daughter.
Absolutely. Like, she deserves that trust fund from him. She's a rich kid, but again, we all knew that. Her dad is Tom Cruise. Like, if anything, it's like one of the nicer things Tom Cruise has ever done to give her a trust fund.
Listen, I have a lot of admiration for Katie Holmes, like getting the fuck out.
Truly, same.
Protecting that girl, like, from the craziness of Scientology. Like, I think there will one day be a movie made about it. It'll be after, like, all the NDAs have expired or something. But like
that or something.
That story to me is so fascinating. Like, how she escaped, like the plan she had to make to get out of that marriage with the custody, and like.
It's really fascinating and so impressive, like, that she actually got away. She's one of the only people to ever really do it.
Well, I want to say her dad is a divorce attorney.
Right. I think we've mentioned this before. Yeah, that's how she did it. That's
how she did it. I think she had like really good advice, and then had some like cojones. You have to like execute the plan. But
she's fucking brave to execute the plan, and clearly like a great mom for being willing to like basically give up her career for her daughter.
Yeah, no, she's a good mom. I think she's a nice person. She's from Ohio. She's like, I feel like
Ohio.
She's just a normal Midwestern person who became a celebrity. Like, that's basically, I guess that's like describes a lot of celebrities, but I don't know. She just seems like
we support Katie Holmes.
I'm pro Katie. She seems like she just like raised her daughter and did it alone, and like did a good job, and leave the fucking kid alone.
Yeah. I agree. Like, I think like whatever, generally, I don't feel that much sympathy for rich kids or whatever the fuck, but it's like, she was always going to be a rich kid. She seems perfectly nice. Katie Holmes like really did save her from like so much hell, and saved herself and saved her family. Like, that's like a huge thing that her mother did. And like, if I was her mom, I would also want to protect her from like people, being angry that she has money or whatever the fuck. Like,
it's not her fault. It's not her. Yeah, it's not her fault. She was born to them. Like, she didn't ask.
If I got $1 million trust fund, I'd be like, okay, great. I have $1 million. That's cool. Like, fuck yeah. Whatever. I don't know. Like, she gets to live comfortably for the rest of it. Honestly, I'm surprised that if it's only $1 million, I'm surprised.
Oh, no, it's way more
than that. It's more than that.
Yeah. She's going to be, look, Tom Cruise is worth like hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have no idea what their business is or what their settlement was. But like, you would think, unless the guy is just completely twisted, he's got to feel bad for not like being involved in his daughter's life. Like,
I think he is completely twisted, but I also think that he thinks about his legacy a lot. And I think that he doesn't want to go down as like a dipshit dad who like never supported his daughter.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's just like, dude, make amends. Like the whole
I'm,
thing is so crazy. Like
if I
why
were
doesn't he
Steve
just?
Holmes, I wouldn't want amends. I'd be like, stay the fuck away from me.
Yeah, just get out of Scientology. That's what I don't understand. Like you're Tom Cruise. You're doing great. You have a great career. You
Don't
don't
tell
need
everyone
this.
he's gay, God forbid.
Like, yeah, who cares? No one
Yeah,
cares.
literally, who cares? I could not agree more. Like, literally, who cares?
Is that what you think is keeping him in? Is that he's worried that they're going to out him?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's been like the line for a long time. Is like he was fucking John Travolta, he was fucking all kinds of people, and like is gay. And it's just, I mean, also, Scientology offers a lot to celebrities, like, basically offers them therapy where they can't get it and just like all kinds of shit.
He
But
could get therapy anywhere.
yeah, he could, but celebrities don't often just like approach a therapist. They don't often like trust them like necessarily to keep their secrets. But you go to like Scientology and you get like, deep into the fucking lore and deep into the fucking cult. And then next thing you know, you're getting therapy and it's like nice for you.
Yeah, you're like crossing the bridge to
Yeah,
total
you're
freedom.
like, right, exactly. And it's like soon enough you're, feeding level 7 and you're like getting access to the special parts of the celebrity center.
But like, see, what I don't understand is like, at what point in the process, like when they start to reveal to you, like Xenu and the other planets and the volcanoes or whatever the fuck the lore of Scientology is, it's so like transparently crazy to me. Like it's sci-fi. You're just
I
like,
mean, it's in every religion.
yeah.
It is.
And when I was like 6 years old, I was like, this is bullshit. Like, I'm just saying, like, what point when they start talking Xenu, does the switch flip where you're like, I'm gonna stay on this crazy train all the way to the end. I'm not gonna start laughing. Like, I'm gonna believe this. Like, it just seems like the most insane thing to like
It does
convince yourself is true.
But it's like, at what point do you cross the line and start believing that like God sent his son to earth to be crucified and then to like come up again and be alive again? Like there's like a lot of, there's a lot of insane things in every single religion. And I think that like once you're indoctrinated, the insane things are easier to accept or ignore or like whatever. Like, I mean, why did fucking Heaven's Gate all kill themselves? Because they believed some crazy fucking shit. And if they didn't, they weren't in Heaven's Gate.
Right.
I guess that's Scientology.
That's why I think we'd be better off without it. Why do we need this stuff?
Because it makes people feel better about being alive in a deeply cruel and fucked up world.
I know. But I mean, there's ways.
Opiate of the masses.
I guess so.
I don't blame any suffering person for hoping that there's something better waiting for them. But I also agree that it's like sci-fi and I don't really understand how it's possible to believe it.
I think there's a way to bridge the divide. Like you can leave some of the sci-fi behind and like take comfort in like some of the moral structures or whatever.
I mean, yeah, I think like being a Christian has like the idea of it has been really like perverted. I think there was like a time still where like being a Christian meant like
shooting
and
it meant shooting CEOs
because they deserve it. And I mean, like that man is going to get into the gates of heaven fucking instantly.
I mean, there was a time when Christianity meant shooting somebody who really deserved it and watching them die like a dog. Speaking of which, in the street, I mean, while they bled out. That's what Christianity used to mean.
I mean, a dog, a rat, die like a rat in the street. Nobody pays attention to a dead rat in the street. That just like gets fucking sucked down the gutter. Even animal control won't come get a dead rat in the street. That's a little bit. Animal control will come for a dog, but not a rat. That's a better.
The rat just gets washed down the sewer. That's all you do. Right.
Yeah, so he died like a rat in the street. I do think that's better. Well, okay, let's see if I can do this transition. Speaking of rodents and parasites.
Hey,
that's a pretty good transition. Brandi Glanville of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills fame. Her face has become disfigured in a very upsetting and insane way. So, Brad, do you have any idea who Brandi Glanville is before this?
When you just said Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I was like, oh, so that's who she is. Like, I had no idea.
So she was a great housewife. She was an iconic housewife. She left the show after revealing that she had sex with Denise Richards while Denise Richards was married, causing Denise Richards to have a whole meltdown to an insane degree. And she left Bravo. So by all accounts, Brandy has had like an incredibly stressful time on Bravo. Because recently she was also in what is called Ultimate Girls Trip, which is when they take housewives from various franchises and they send them on a vacation somewhere. And, you know, chaos ensues, whatever. So Brandy Glanville was sent on a Ultimate Girls Trip with a bunch of housewives, but one of them being Caroline Manzo, who is from Real Housewives of New Jersey. And then a lawsuit was brought against Brandy Glanville for sexual harassment against Caroline Manzo.
I can't believe how much you know about this woman.
This is nothing, Brad. This is like not even like 0.01% of my knowledge. Like you should like Tyler, my husband Tyler, like knows all of this just because we live in the same home. Like he could say all of these things easily also. And he does not watch the show. It's all me. Like my long suffering husband like has to deal with this. So Brandy Glanville has spent the last like year or 2 years denying these allegations. They did drop the suit. And as a result, Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Morocco has been like basically permanently shelved. I have a friend who works at Peacock, which is where it airs, who said that like people talk about Ultimate Girls Trip Morocco in like hushed tones. Like it's like you're not allowed to speak of it. It's like it's a lost season at this point.
Wait. Did they film it or did they never film it?
They filmed it, and then Brandy was accused of sexually harassing Caroline Manzo. And Brandy has basically said, like, okay, release the season then. Release the footage. Show everybody the footage, and it'll show that I did not do that. And Bravo will not release the footage. They will not release the show.
Jesus. Okay.
So now Brandy Glanville posted a picture that was very troubling. She's gotten she was really beautiful in her first season of Housewives. And, you know, she still is, but she's gotten a lot of plastic surgery that kind of fucked her up. So she posted a picture of her face looking fucking crazy. Like, not like plastic surgery crazy. Like, she had like bumps all over her face, like, and like it was kind of like sagging in parts and not sagging in other parts, but like not in a stroke way. Like it like something was wrong with her skin. Like it was like something's very wrong, and it was not just like fillers. Like it was like.
And her lips in this photo, her lips look really swollen and like puffy or whatever. What do you call it? Collagen.
They look, definitely like she has fillers and she has, you know, Botox, and I'm sure, and she's gotten plastic surgery, like significant plastic surgery, but this is not like here. She looks like kind of gaunt, like almost like she's got like her cheekbones are kind of sucked in. Her lips are really big. Generally speaking, her face looks kind of like overfilled. So like, this is really like not how she normally looks. Like she looks weird normally. She has like too much plastic surgery, but in a like opposite way, which is what's so fucking weird about this.
But she's attributing this like new look to a parasite.
Yeah. So I guess she went on Twitter to explain what happened. And her tweet. So this is the tweet that she posted. She said, "What happened? I wish I knew. I've been in and out of the hospital this past year and a half, spent almost every dollar I have trying to figure it out. Some doctors say I have a parasite that jumps around my face. Some say it's stress-induced edema. Personally, I say it's Bravo." What is edema?
I don't know. I thought it was like, it's not eczema. Like edema, is it some sort of topical?
No, not eczema. It's like, okay, so edema is swelling caused by fluid building up in the body's tissues. So it's like really bad fluid retention, basically. But she's basically saying that like no doctors agree on what it is. And she's just spent all this money trying to figure it out.
Well, and she's had all this plastic surgery. Something gets fucked up. It's like, wasn't there like some model? There was like, or just like, you know, the musculature of your face or the fluid retention gets fucked up because you've cut your face up so many times.
Yeah, or something. I mean, she looks fucked up. Like it looks like all the fillers were sucked out of her face. And then she like used the substance from the movie The Substance and didn't respect the balance. Like it's like something's wrong.
I just don't understand the lips. Like, why do you pump your lips up like that? It doesn't even look normal. It looks so, it doesn't look hot.
I mean, and Brad's just talking about how she looks normally, not even like with the parasite in her face, by the way.
No, but I'm looking at the parasite photo and it's like, why are you injecting your like your lips don't look, they look like they don't fit your face.
Yeah. I mean, so here's the thing about like being on Bravo is that like first season, people look normal. Second season, they've gotten a little work done. Maybe they even look better than normal. Third season, they look fucking insane. Unless they're very, very, very careful about their plastic surgery. Because I think what happens is people watch themselves on television and get this idea of how they look, that it's like you just look at your own face too much. Because like as a housewife, you have to watch the episodes as part of your job. Because you have to follow the plot that the editors put in the episode, not what happened in real life. And like, I think people just go insane looking at their face too much and end up getting this crazy plastic surgery trying to fix these like problems that aren't really there. Like,
I could understand that. Like if I had to be on TV and watch myself on TV, like this is the only angle that we're on right now that I can handle seeing myself at.
Right. And it's like these women are seeing themselves like crying and all fucked up and drunk and at the wrong angles. And like they get really insecure and fucked up and get this fucked up plastic surgery. And if they're not one of the richer housewives, their plastic surgery doesn't look good. You can tell that like the housewives that are richer don't look as fucked up because they've gotten better plastic surgery. But Brandi really got a bad deal here. And like the way that she's been accused of sexual harassment, despite the fact that Caroline Manzo herself has come forward and said that she was not sexually harassed, Bravo is still pushing the suit against her. I feel bad for her, honestly. Like, it's fucked up. And like, I guess commenters were trying to speculate, saying like, is it a histamine response? Is it a case of fillers gone awry? But neither. That's my dog, by the way.
What does Baby Dog think?
Baby Dog is furious that Brandi fucked up her face. And what he's trying to say is, wow, she was so beautiful, and why did she have to do that to her beautiful face?
I think Baby Dog's traumatized because you keep saying die like a dog in the street.
That's so true. Baby Dog, I didn't mean dog, I meant rat. I'm so sorry.
All right. Well, I wish Brandi Glanville well. I don't know what to say about it. Like, stop getting plastic surgery. You're fine without it. And like, get your shit together and like, stay off of reality TV. That's my prescription. I don't think she
can go back on reality TV if she wants to now.
Unless it's like a show about people whose faces are all fucked up from plastic surgery, which
she might do, because it sounds like she's used all of her money to fix her face, and now she doesn't have any, and she's not going to be allowed on reality TV anymore. It's like fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, it's, I wish
how it ends.
Brandi.
This is like the life cycle of the Real Housewife. Like, this is the dark end of the Real Housewife, like life cycle. That's
right. I mean, this is one of the darker aspects of Real Housewives, is like, if the woman is not rich for reasons other than Real Housewives, and then she's like, she will age out of Real Housewives eventually. Like, she's not always going to be on Real Housewives. And like, the money is not that good, all things considered. Yet Brandi Glanville is like too famous to go outside and have people not recognize her, so she can't get another job. So it's like, he like takes these middle-aged women, makes them famous, puts them on TV, makes them very successful. But then what happens?
Yeah.
The devil works hard, but Andy Cohen works harder.
All right. So what is it now? Where are we?
So now it's time for everyone's favorite segment, Brad Learns.
Brad Learns.
Brad's lost in amazing screens and lights. Can't find the way to his peace of mind.
So, those watching the video will see that I did a nice little dance.
It's Mira's Brad Learns dance. She does it every week. But
that's right.
No.
That's right. I add a little dance move every week to make it a surprise too. So, be sure to tune in. Wow, the Brad Learns today are really fucking funny. So I'm going to start with the easier of the two questions, or the quicker of the two questions, which is, Brad just made a face, by the way, that was like, oh God, here we go. So So the question I'm going to answer first is Paris Jackson really Michael Jackson's biological daughter? And Brad did make really be italics. So is Paris Jackson really Michael Jackson's biological daughter?
Well, I feel like that's a fair question because I don't know the details of the. I mean, it doesn't seem so, but I don't know the details
Absolutely, yes, she is. And who is her mom? Let's look it up.
It's like Debbie something.
Paris Jackson. She is 100% his biological child. She kind of looks like him. Like you can tell.
Really?
Yeah, look at her face. And like look at a young Michael Jackson. Debbie Rowe is her mom.
Like Paris Jackson's super beautiful. Like supermodel beautiful.
Dude,
and
Michael Jackson was super beautiful before he fucked up his face. That's a beautiful family.
Yeah,
Janet
no.
Jackson, she was beautiful.
I just like she presents Paris Jackson does to me as like so like white and like blue eyed, and it's like I don't know. I was just like it was. I think it's like a fair question. Like, was she a surrogate child conceived with like a sperm donor and a egg or something? Yeah, I don't fucking know. But
she's just half black. She just is. It's like it's a weird thing about race, Brad.
It really is. I don't know. It just, I feel, is it not a fair question to ask if you don't know any of the details? Like, I feel like it's
a fair question to ask. I think, like, if you don't know any of the details, like, I think she doesn't look so much like Michael Jackson that it's like really, really obvious.
No, if you picked her out of the street and we're like, this is Michael Jackson's kid, and no one knew her, like, no. I think you'd be like,
she looks more like her mom than Michael Jackson. I don't know what her mom looks like, but like, I would bet, like, she doesn't look.
I think I know what her mom looks like. She doesn't look like her mom either. That's what's so crazy. Like, I feel like Michael Jackson was like it's a beautiful family, like good looking guy. I don't think Debbie Rowe was like some sort of supermodel.
Then why did Michael Jackson have a child with her?
I don't know, but it turned out this gorgeous daughter who's just like stunning.
Oh yeah, she is like not a supermodel. I see what you mean. I mean, she's beautiful, but like
whatever. That doesn't matter. It's just like it's just interesting, like how
she kind of looks like her. She almost looks more like Michael Jackson, actually. That's so weird. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely his biological daughter, and like it would be crazy for that not to be her biological mother, considering she birthed her or whatever.
And we're sure that Michael Jackson didn't like find a sperm donor. I guess why would he do that? He wanted kids.
He looks like him. Like, look up a picture of her. No, she really does.
She looks like him. Okay,
I don't see it.
I don't see it. But then again, like it's like looks like which version of Michael? Like
right. She doesn't look like the like version of him that maybe we're used to seeing, but like a much younger version. I could see it.
Okay.
It's confusing though because you're comparing like a person who's 20 something to like a young Michael Jackson before he got plastic surgery. So that's like kind of hard to see maybe, but they do look alike.
And then there's other Jackson children. There's what are the other ones?
Janet.
No, but what's Paris Jackson's siblings? She's got siblings. Michael Jackson had 3 kids.
Half siblings or whole siblings?
I think they're whole siblings, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
Let's see. Let's look it up. Paris Jackson. She's a singer? What in the fuck? Since fucking when?
No, she plays like acoustic guitar and like sings on TikTok and shit. I've seen this.
Justin Long? Who's
that?
Justin Long, he's like that actor. If you looked him up, you would know who he was. He's like in Barbarian. Did you see Barbarian?
No.
I can't think of a single other movie that he was in. And I also can't find any siblings of hers. I don't know. Maybe she does have siblings, but I can't find them.
Can't believe, Mira. I can't believe you don't just know this off the top of your head, like which the Jackson siblings.
I know it's shocking. I'm basically a pop culture dictionary, but
like remember when Michael Jackson like dangled that baby off the balcony?
Oh, but aren't some of them Lisa Marie's?
I don't think so, but I don't think that was Paris. I don't think he was dangling Paris. I think that was a different baby. That was Blanket. Blanket. Yes. Yes.
Which might be your half sibling?
I don't know.
I think he had kids with multiple women.
Did he?
I'm not totally sure. I'm
If you're out there and you know the details on this, you can email the show, letters@otherppl.com.
yeah, please. If you have a Michael Jackson family tree, please send it to letters@otherppl.com.
It's just shocking to me that Paris Jackson is his daughter, but
that's so funny. I don't know why is it so shocking to you?
I just don't see it. I just see no likeness. I'm just like,
that's
what?
Really funny. I'm gonna text you like 20 pictures of both of them after this.
Yeah, I need to. Maybe I'm missing it. It's possible that I'm missing it.
So okay, so the other Brad learns is really funny. Who is Gypsy Rose Blanchard? Is the other Brad learns.
Who is it? I see this name everywhere in the tabloids.
Where did you see her name that made you ask this?
In this week, I'm like researching for the show, and I'm looking through the tabloids, and I keep seeing Gypsy Rose Blanchard in the headlines.
Wow. Okay, so how do I explain this? Okay, there was a documentary, and I can't remember the name of it, about her. And basically what happened is that she is like the most famous case of Munchausen by proxy. So her mother, basically from a very, very young age, convinced Gypsy that she was extremely sick, and convinced doctors also that she was extremely sick, that she had cancer, that she had like leukemia, that she had all these different issues. Put her in a wheelchair, told her she couldn't walk, put her on all these drugs that made her feel sick. And so, she just believed that she was sick. She had like a fucking, her mom would shave her head every day. She had like a fucking oxygen tank, like just like a crazy amount of things that like.
By the way, this is not where I expected this answer to go at all.
Yeah, this is why it's so fucking funny. Like you asking this, like I'm like, wow, okay, like this, like Brad's gonna be a little shocked by the way that I respond to this.
I thought she was like on some Bravo show. I had no idea.
Maybe she will be in the future, but
yeah, get her on. She sounds interesting.
So basically, she got like a boyfriend, started dating this boy. It was like a neighbor or something like that, and he basically was like, "Yo, like, I don't know if you're actually this sick. Like, I think your mom might be fucking with you." And so she like kind of stopped taking some of the drugs that her mom was forcing on her, and she was like, "Oh." And then she like kind of like stood up from her wheelchair and was like, I can walk. So what the fuck is going on? And then kind of went through her meds and discovered basically that her mom was just like forcing her to pretend to be sick. And so her, Gypsy, and her boyfriend got together and plotted and murdered her mother. Fully murdered her, killed her. And Gypsy and her boyfriend went to jail for it.
She died like a dog in the street, Mira.
She died like a dog in her house. That's right.
She died like a dog in a living room.
In the living room of her home. In the comfortable living room, the safety of her living room. Died like a dog in her house.
Yeah.
At the hands of her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend. And so Gypsy went to prison for this. Obviously, the boyfriend also did. But at her last appeal a couple of years ago, so at her last appeal a couple of years ago, basically, they let her out. They were like, this is clearly a case of self-defense. You've served a lot of time in prison. You're out. And so she got, I think it was like a couple of years less off of her sentence and got out. And since she got out, she's been fucking living her life. She's been engaged and divorced already, I believe. She's had like 7 different boyfriends. She was on the Kardashians reality show because she wanted to meet Kim Kardashian and discuss how she could get involved with, I guess, like criminal justice reform, like prison reform. So she was like on the Kardashian show. She's like all over social media, posting all the time, just like having the time of her life. And she's like all over TMZ doing all kinds of shit. Like, dating people, getting divorced, saying that she wants to do XYZ job. Like, just, she's a celebrity now, basically. And when she got out of prison, everybody was like, hell yeah, Gypsy Rose is out of prison. Like, she needs to be in the fucking club, bro. Like, she's like she needs to go fucking party. Like, let's like fucking take her to the Abbey. Like, it's like.
Have you seen her out? Have you seen Gypsy Rose on the town?
No. If I did, though, I would be like, Gypsy! Like, I would definitely want a picture with her.
Munchausen by proxy.
Yeah, your mom deserved it.
She died like a dog, Gypsy.
In the living room. It was cool.
Oh my god!
I thought you put me down to jail in the first place.
I'm in shock. I had no idea. I thought I was just asking about a pop star or like some sort of reality TV star, and it turns out she's like a hardened criminal, but also like a victim.
I mean, that's why, like, so like for listeners, Brad and I have a shared note where we will add stories from throughout the week that we discuss, and Brad learns. Usually Brad just fills it in with questions that he has that he doesn't understand. And so today when I looked at the notes and saw in Brad learns just the words, "Who is Gypsy Rose?" I started cracking up, and I was like, I'm not going to tell you anything until we get to Brad learns.
And here we are. Well,
and here we are.
I feel like that was a very substantive response to the Gypsy Rose Blanchard inquiry. I am grateful for the knowledge. I feel like I've grown as a person, as I always do in these conversations and in these episodes. And I hope that everybody listening at home has grown along with me.
Yeah. I have not grown at all, as I never do in any context. I do not grow as a person.
No hugging, no learning.
No learning. That's my motto.
That's right. No growth.
No growth, no learning. I'm going to get it tattooed across my neck.
Well, Mira, it's always good to see you.
Good to see you too, Brad. Lovely to talk to you.
And we'll talk next week. Is next week going to be our holiday episode? Is that where we are? I don't even know how the days fall.
The week after next. I don't know what fucking date it even is.
Let's see. So, yeah, because I mean, well, I don't know if we're going to record on Christmas Eve. So I think.
Yeah. So next week will be our holiday episode then. Next
week will be the holiday episode, probably the last episode of 2024. So
wow.
Everybody listening should stay tuned.
Stay tuned. I love my listeners.